All right, in the previous video, we derived the CAPM, or at least gave us some inclination of what the CAPM is doing. What the CAPM suggests is that the only type of risk that matters is systematic risk, or sometimes called market risk. And the reason why only market risk matters is because everyone will eventually just hold the market portfolio. All right, so people that hold the market portfolio will only be worrying about market-wide risk. So the only risk that matters is a firm's exposure to that market risk or that systematic risk. And beta is giving us a measure. So here's the CAPM formula. The expected return for any asset I is equal to the risk-free rate plus beta, the measure of systematic risk, which is defined here, times the difference between the expected return on the market and the risk-free rate. A couple of things to note here. That difference is often called the market risk premium. Okay, so sometimes you'll hear that the market risk premium is 10%. Other times you'll hear that the expected return on the market is 13%. Notice that the excess return that the market pays in excess of the risk-free rate is the market risk premium. Typically, we use short-term U.S. government bond yields as our measure of risk-free rate. Okay, so let's just work a couple problems. This is going to be really straightforward. Getting to the CAPM was hard, but using the CAPM is fairly easy. Okay, so here's the problem. Assume stock A has a beta of 1.4 and stock B has a beta of 1.9. I'm sorry, of 0.9. If the expected return on the market is 13% and the risk-free rate is 3%, what is the expected return of stocks A and B? Okay, so we're going to calculate the expected return here of stock A, the expected return of stock B. Whoa. Okay, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to follow the formula. It's going to be equal to 3% plus, for stock A, my beta was 1.4 times the difference between 13% and 3%. We can do that in our head. That's 10. Okay. And when I hit enter, it's going to give me the expected return for stock A according to the capital asset pricing model, which in this case is 17. Now I ask you a question. Is stock B going to have an expected return higher or lower than that? Look, the only thing that's changing in this problem is the beta of stock B. And it's lower, which means stock B is less risky or more risky than stock A. Hopefully you said less risky. It's slightly less risky than the market. Okay, so to calculate the expected return of stock B, I'm going to say equals 3 plus 0.9 times the market risk premium. In this problem, it's 10%. And I get an expected return of 12. Okay. So the question, according to the CAPM, which stock would you prefer, A or B? Some of you might have an inclination to say A. But what the CAPM is telling you is that if beta has been estimated correctly, these are the expected returns that you should receive for the given risk that this company has. And the risk that we're talking about is systematic or market-wide risk.